I'm life and business coach Samantha Sifring, and this is the Online Business Building Mamas podcast, where you learn how to build a wildly successful business from home while raising kids. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. Today, we are talking about how to price your offer. I get this question all the time, and so I wanted to have an episode where I could just talk to you about pricing and how to price your offer, the things I think about when I'm pricing my offer. And this was actually inspired by some things that I've seen on TV shows, so you will also enjoy some random side stories and such. So, here is the number one thing that I want you all to know when it comes to pricing your offer. The number one thing is value. It's all about value. And the most important part of this is that it's all about the value to them, the people who are buying. My kids always ask me this. Mostly my oldest. He's 12 and he is extremely bougie and loves all the designer brands and all of the fancy cars and all of the lovely things in life. And so as he looks ahead to his future lifestyle as an adult, he is totally like, how do I make money so I can buy all that stuff I want? And I tell him the way to make money is to bring value to people. And the most important thing is that you have to be bringing something that those people value. So when you look around and you see people who have made a lot of money, even if you don't really like those people, you have to look at what's the value they brought that people really wanted to pay for. Now, I'm not saying it's always done in a super ethical way. But I think all of you who are listening want to do it in a super ethical way, like I do. And instead of focusing on what you hate about people who are making a lot of money, let's look at what we can learn and replicate so we can be good people making a lot of money. So something I think about a lot when I think about this is Amazon. Like, a lot of people love to hate on Amazon, but how many of us are ordering off of Prime multiple times a week? I know that's not just me, by the way. How many of us just find it super easy to do that? How many of us are enjoying Mrs. Maisel and all of the other entertaining shows that Amazon provides for us? Amazon is giving us value that we want to pay for, even if we kind of hate some things about them, right? So that is really what it takes to make money. That is what you must hold in mind when you're thinking about your pricing. And the reason that I say that it's all about the value to them is that you can think it's super valuable and you can think it's worth a certain amount, but if people won't pay that, then it really isn't, right? It's like, I used to collect Beanie Babies. This is great. I had like the guidebook and I was like all on the forums and like eBay when it was brand new and like beanietrader.com or something like that, I'm sure. I feel like that's what it was called. So I was in the craze. This was like when I was in middle school when this craze was happening, and I was homeschooled for middle school, if you didn't know that already. So I would at home make calls to all of the area stores that sold Beanie Babies. And I knew the days that they would get shipments. So I would like call and ask, did you get your shipment? What beanies are in it? I would be taking notes. It was a whole thing. It was so crazy. Now I'm like, wait, how did I get on the Beanie Baby topic? Okay. So I remember I have like some collectible ones. And they, like, in my mind, are worth a certain amount because that's what they were worth in, like, 1997 or whatever, right? These Beanie Babies are probably worth 50 cents, if that. I might have to pay somebody to take these beanies, right? So maybe in 1997, they were worth $50, $70, $250. Now they're probably worth nothing. Although, if they're worth something, I know you're all going to be in my DMs telling me, so thank you for letting me know. But in my mind, they're worth a lot, right? But they aren't anymore. People aren't willing to pay those prices, I don't think, for Beanie Babies anymore. You also see this all the time on home selling shows. Recently, like over the holiday break, I binge watched Selling Sunset. I cannot believe I did not know how great that show was when it came out, but as you know, I love to binge, so I also like to start a show like once there's a lot of seasons, so it's fine for me to be the last person watching. But I noticed this multiple times on Selling Sunset, and I see it on a lot of other home selling shows. The homeowner has the price that they want. They're like, no, I want to list it for this. It's definitely worth this amount. And the agent is always like, she's crazy. We're not going to get that amount. Talk her down. And I think this is such a good example. Like, this happens in our business all the time. With these houses, it is not the homeowner who decides the value to the buyers. The buyers determine the value. So maybe this house is worth $2 million to the seller, but it might also only be worth 1.6 to a buyer. The market determines the price, not what you want to make, not what you think it's worth. The market determines it. And this is true in our businesses too. So I want you to be able to look at this really objectively. I want you to really think about the value to your client, to your customer, more than what you want, and making it personal. There are a lot of business coaches out there who make your prices about your worth. And I want to encourage you to throw that in the trash and to stop linking the money you make to your worth as a human. Not related at all. And you know what? You might be a super valuable human, because I think all humans have value. And also, you might be brand new at the thing you're doing and not very good at it. So maybe it's not time to charge a premium price, because you're not offering a premium product in the eyes of your potential client. And maybe that's okay. I really think we all have to start somewhere, and it is totally okay to start low and work your way up. I did. As you know, I made $40 in my first year, and that was one session. I sold one coaching session for $40. After that, I think my next offer was like $200 a month for weekly calls, something like that. And I worked my way up from there. I remember there was a period of time I was charging like $400 a month for weekly calls. Like, I just kept working my way up. That's okay. It's totally okay to work your way up. The price you pick is not the price you'll have forever, and it doesn't even have to be the price you offer next time, right? A lot of times when I'm coaching a client, I will tell them, like, have 5 people say yes at this price, and then let's talk about raising it. You're going to have such an easier time selling the thing that feels like a steal to your potential client than the thing that feels like a stretch to both of you. And that's always going to come from the value and your confidence. Like, your confidence plays such a big role. I think on a coaching call or a training, something that I did, I was like, this is why con men have clients. Your confidence matters so much when you're making an offer. And I think, if you can really find the price that you are really confident saying out loud, that you're really confident selling, even if it feels lower than what you want to be making, go out and sell a bunch of it. Have clients who love your work, and then raise the rate and sell a bunch more at the new rate. I think that it's really important coming back to that idea of the market. Like one of the most basic concepts in economics is supply and demand. And that is always how I have priced my offers. So if you look at my business and you are like, why does she charge the things she charges? It is because I am really holding supply and demand in my mind. So when I have raised my rates, it's because I have had more demand than supply. So most recently, when I raised my rate for my mastermind, so I had a round where I had about 20-ish people paying me $10K. The next round that I did, I had over 30 people who joined at $10K, and I had a lot of people reaching out who wanted to join in the next round. And I remember having this thought, I would rather have 20 people pay me $25K than 50 people paying me $10K. So because I wanted to keep the group smaller, and I want to keep the group smaller until I feel really confident about how I'm going to be scaling it and how I can deliver to a larger group of people. So while I'm figuring that out, and I still had a lot of demand that I couldn't accommodate, I raised the rate. And with my mastermind in particular, my coach advised me to only raise the rate once. So to decide what's the final rate for all time for this mastermind going to be and raise it to that right now. So that's why I made such a big leap. But when I was doing my one-on-one coaching offer, I was at that like $400 a month package. Then I went to $5K for 6 months. Then I did $10K for 6 months, $15K for 6 months, $20K for 6 months. Like I just incrementally bumped it up, responding to demand. And I kept getting full, like I kept selling out. I kept having a wait list. So I kept raising the rate because I wanted people to go away. Really, because it was like, hey, I don't have that much supply. So I am going to filter people. I'm going to charge like whatever I can and still be able to fill the supply that I have. So when you see me raising rates, or when you hear me talk about raising rates in the past, that's what it's come from. And then with Mama to CEO, I'm keeping that rate as low and accessible as possible to be able to provide that program, even though $2,000 for everything you get in Mama to CEO is kind of insane. It's a lifetime program. You get weekly group coaching. You get unlimited daily like message text-based coaching with our Ask a Coach program. You get the whole course. You get all the bonuses forever for, any future bonus that I create. You have lifetime access to that for $2,000. It's crazy what you get for that amount. And that's because the supply is unlimited. Like I am able to keep scaling that business. I'm going to make changes here and there as it grows to be able to continue to deliver at the same level and make sure that all of the clients that are in there are getting the results that I want them to be getting. But that is a lower cost offer because it can accommodate so many people. I want to have a really high supply for that, so I keep the price low. So it's a totally different philosophy than the one for the mastermind where I want to keep that group smaller right now. All right, so it's all about value to your people. It's not about your worth. You want to think about supply and demand. And the last thing that I want to talk about that I see a lot of people falling into when they are pricing their offer is basing it on an hourly rate. So I think it's okay for you to look at the hourly rate, make sure that that's good, right? Don't make it $1, don't make it $10, right? Let's make it good. And I would also say, if you're somebody who is selling products or has a team or something like that, for sure, make sure that you have a profit margin. That's something we talk about a lot in the mastermind. We talk about increasing the margins in your business as you approach $1 million in your business. But do not sell hourly packages. This is something that I coach all of my clients in Mama to CEO about. They are not paying for your time. They are paying for the value you provide. So always be thinking about that. What is the value of this to my clients versus what is my hourly rate? What seems like a normal hourly rate? I was recently coaching one of my clients who's a VA, and she was doing all of her calculations based on $25 an hour, which, by the way, that's on the low side for an experienced VA with a really specialized skill set, which she is experienced and had some specialized skills. $25 an hour, it's low. Just so you all know, like that's on the low end. Like if you were just starting as a VA, that'd be a great place to start. If you're beginning. And you definitely want to increase from there. So you can use the hourly calculation to help you come up with like a package number. But really, really do not train your clients to pay you hourly to think about the hours because they are not paying for your time. All right. Those are the key things that I want you thinking about when you think about pricing your offer. I also want you to know that there's no perfect price. There's no right price. And what I find when I'm working with my clients and we're talking about pricing and they want me to tell them the right price, I usually just ask them, what's the price you're thinking? Or what are the different prices that you're torn between? And then what's the rationale for those? Here's the deal. You all always know the right price. Like every once in a while, there's somebody where I'm like, no, we're definitely changing that price. But I'm astounded at how often my clients bring a price and it's just the right one. They just know it. It's like you just innately, when you clear out all the BS, you just know the right price. So trust yourself with that. Trust yourself to do the pricing. There's no like perfect way to price. All the pricing guides out there, it's all just made up, okay? You can just truly pick a number. And if it's aligned with the value to your client, if you have a lot of confidence in selling it, you're going to sell it. It's going to be amazing. All right. I will talk to you all again next week. If you like this podcast, I want to invite you to coach with me over in my program, Mama to CEO. There's you, and there's the consistent income you want to make in your business, and I help you remove everything standing in between. It's lifetime access for mastering your marketing, sales, time, and everything else you need to have the business and life you really want. Whether it's making your first 1,000 or 100,000, I can help you do it. To join, go to mamatoceo.com, MAMATOCEO.com.